Hello, friends. Today I'd like to talk about something that sometimes we face in grief that is difficult, and that is a time of complicated grief. I'd like today to talk about the subject of when to get help. Now, whenever we go through a time of grief, it's normal for us to feel sadness, missing our loved ones, even longing to see our loved one again. We may feel a mixture of emotions that sort of rises and falls over time. We may feel anything from denial, mild depression, even anger. Those things are actually part of normal grief. This does not mean that you're in trouble, that you need help. Does not mean that you're dealing with complicated grief. However, normal grief can sometimes morph into a greater problem, and that's complicated grief. Complicated grief begins as normal grief, but the normal processing of our feelings of grief get interrupted. They get complicated. Emotions are much stronger. Reactions can be way more intense, and it can lead us to unhealthy behaviors like substance abuse, suicidal thoughts or actions, extreme depression where we're unable to get out of the bed and function. This is not normal grief. Whenever you have these types of feelings, you're not dealing with normal grief anymore. So I'd like today to talk about some signs of complicated grief, when you need to get help, and some ways that you can get help. Some of the signs of complicated grief are that you may still be struggling to get over the loss of your loved one, even at the year mark or later. Another sign of complicated grief is either the inability to sleep, insomnia, or sleeping too much, way more than you should. Those kinds of things can be related to depression. Even insomnia can be depression. A loss of interest in things that you once enjoyed. You feel sort of a numbness about life. You don't really find anything enjoyable. That's one of the signs that you may be dealing with a deeper sense of depression, and you may need some help. Another sign is that you're unable to go back to work, or you're unable to handle your normal life expectations. You may not work outside of the home, might be retired, but you're not able to handle normal daily life routines. Those are some signs that you're dealing with complicated grief, especially if you're unable to go back to work and you need to work in order to support your family. Another sign is intense longing for the deceased, where you are unable to stop crying. You feel such a flood of emotions that you don't even know how to control them. Social isolation can be another sign of complicated grief. Instead of being with people, you want to pull off and be away all to yourself and not have any impact or interest or involvement with other people. Another sign might be you feel as if your life is no longer worth living. You might consider suicide. If that is the case, you definitely need to get help. You're definitely dealing with complicated grief at that point. Another thing that some people get involved in is the abuse of prescription or illicit drugs or alcohol dependency. If you're dealing with alcohol dependency, you may not consider yourself an alcoholic, but you're drinking way more than you used to or than you should. You may be dealing with complicated grief in your situation. So let's talk about some ways to get help. One of the ways that's helpful for just about anyone, whether you're dealing with normal grief or complicated grief, is to join a recovery group. Now, we have some recovery groups that we offer through MSA on a regular basis. Some meet once a month, some meet for a period of several weeks at a time, but you can join one of our groups. You could get involved with Grief Share. You can find one of those groups online. Grief Share is the name of it. There are many, many churches that offer this. Sometimes funeral homes will offer Grief Share, or they will offer their own type of bereavement group. Church is a wonderful place to get help when you're dealing with grief. Sometimes you might have a friend at church, a Sunday school class, or a group that you can depend on, and that would be one of your best places to get help. Another resource related to the church is your pastor or a bereavement coordinator at hospice. We're here to help, not just to make a few calls here and there, but to help you through this journey of grief. Another option for many people, if you are working, is your Employee Assistance Program. It's called an EAP. EAP, or Employee Assistance Programs, often offer you access to counselors at a reduced charge or no charge at all. These are some options that you should seriously consider if you are working still. Another option that many people find very helpful is to consider seeking a professional counselor. Professional counselors are trained to help you through this time of grief. They're able to help you talk through your issues and to understand some of your issues. And it could be a very helpful thing for you to have a professional counselor. A lot of people shy away from that, and that's why I'm encouraging you to seek help from your church or some other type of recovery group, but that might be a benefit to you. One thing that some people have found helpful is prescription medications to help to deal with depression. That might be something you should discuss with your family doctor when you go to visit. Now, I wanted to close this session by pointing out a time when you really need to get help quickly. If you are considering suicide or harming someone else, there is a national suicide hotline number now. It's 988. And you can talk to a live trained person to give you some counsel, some help, and to refer you to someone local that can help you through this process. That number again is 988. Another serious situation is if you are dealing with some type of physical manifestation of grief. You need to call 911 if you are having physical symptoms similar to a heart attack, heart palpitations, one-sided pain or weakness like you might have in a stroke, shortness of breath that you can't get under control. You could be having a panic attack, which can be helped by medical treatment, or you could be facing a heart attack. But if you're facing any type of physical symptom, call 911 immediately to get help. 988 again is that suicide prevention number, and you will talk to a live person. You will not be a machine where you have to push a bunch of prompts. If you're a veteran, you press 1. Otherwise, it will guide you through the process to find someone that you can talk to right away. Again, we want to be with you, to partner with you through this journey of grief. If you feel like you may be dealing with complicated grief, feel free to reach out to one of us. It's totally fine to call our office and ask for help. We'll do everything we can to find help and to encourage you along this journey. Take care.